for
Hey, YouTube, how are you? Good to see you guys. Thanks for joining in on the TikTok. Good to see all y'all here. I'm Walter, your travel advisor, and as always, I've got my wife Rebecca sitting right off camera, and we just said it's 155 days till Christmas. How about that? So welcome, everybody. Good to see everybody this morning. Good morning from the Bliss. How about that? Good morning, Colleen. You're on the Bliss right now? Wow. Well, thanks for joining us from your cruise. That's so awesome. We still got, I think, 119 days until we get on the Valiant Lady. We've got a big group going for, 118 days until we get on the Valiant Lady. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. It's going to be so exciting. We got a big old group. Hey, Michael. Hey, Norma. Thanks for joining in. Desiree, thank you so much for the super sticker. That is totally awesome. Really appreciate that. Good morning, Christy. Good morning, Aviation of the World. Good morning. Good morning. Hi, everybody. How are you? So it's Sunday morning. Whoa, we've got Resilient Lady out of Athens in 50 days. Ooh, now that's the one. I really want to get on the Resilient Lady one of these days soon because she has those really cool seahorses where we have the swings on Scarlet and Valiant. She has like these seahorses that you can actually sit on. I cannot wait to see. Hey, April, how are you? Thanks for joining in today. If you're new to the channel, if you're new to the show, I am Walter, an independent travel advisor, along with my wife, Rebecca, who sits right off camera. And we spend about the next hour or so talking about all things cruising and trying to answer as many of your questions as we possibly can. So, they've changed the cabin decor a little bit too. That's pretty cool. Aviation World, you're going on the Sun Princess. Very nice. That's going to be an amazing, amazing ship. Good morning, user 247. How are you? And April's going on the Mardi Gras for Halloween. Woo, that should be a lot of fun. That's going to be so much fun. And hey, if you're new to the channel, please take a moment to subscribe, either on TikTok or YouTube. And please do hit that like button if you like what we're doing. We certainly do appreciate it. Thank you so very much. So really awesome to see everybody. Really awesome to be back on another Sunday morning and so many things going on. Jesse, kids-friendly Disney versus Royal. Well, that all depends on what your kids are into, how old the kids are, and things like that. You know, Royal Caribbean, it also depends on like which Royal Caribbean ship you're talking about, because there's about 27 of them out there. And, you know, some of them, I would say, 4 to 7 years old. I mean, you know, the one thing that Royal Caribbean definitely has, they've got the splash pads, and they've got, you know, some of the stuff for the smaller kids. They're going to have a few more. They may have a few more things, but probably the children's club. I mean, you can't top Disney. I mean, you go in there, and it's like overload for the kids. It's just so amazing what Disney has done with all of those kids club. But just based on the kids club alone, I would probably take the kids on Disney. Personally,
budget permitting.
Yeah, budget permitting. But you know, if you get on the Disney Dream or the Fantasy, those budgets are very close to Royal Caribbean. So it's going to be very much a wash depending on which ship you want to go on. Now, of course, you know, Royal Caribbean has more. You know, especially if you get on the Oasis class ship, they have more stuff to do. But if they're that young, I'd probably lean into Disney first. Maybe look at the Fantasy and the Dream. Which are more moderately priced than, say, getting on the Disney Wish. And, of course, the Wonder and the Magic, depending on where they are as well. So any input for Norwegian Encore going to first week of September? No specific input for that particular cruise, no. I will remind everybody, though, thank you for reminding me, that we actually have a special going on right now with Norwegian Cruise Line. And you've got till Wednesday to take advantage of this. We have free prepaid gratuities on cruises of 7+ days. And you've got to have a balcony cabin or above, I believe. There's all kinds of terms that go with it. But you have until this Wednesday to do it. And that's an exclusive offer through Where's Walter Travel. Free prepaid gratuities on Norwegian Cruise Line for the first 2 people in the cabin. So definitely take advantage of that. Hey, Paul, 91 days until your Western Mediterranean transatlantic on the Valiant. Wow, you're bringing her over so then we can sail on her for Thanksgiving. That is so awesome. Good morning, Aaron. How are you? Good to see you. I'm glad you enjoyed the Thursday night podcast. If you were not here last Thursday, we had Tamika from Virgin Voyages. You can go watch the replay right now on YouTube. Absolutely fantastic show. She's amazing.
One thing I will say about the Norwegian Encore, Food Republic. I just checked.
Okay. So the Norwegian Encore has a Food Republic on it. Excellent restaurant. And on Thursday night this coming week, if you're interested in talking about MSC cruises, I'm going to have Michael, our representative from MSC, is actually going to join me for a whole hour on Cruise Chat Live over on YouTube this coming Thursday. So we got all kinds of great things coming up. We got American Cruise Line coming up after that. We got Royal Caribbean coming on. I'm getting Princess lined up. So Thursday nights, we're starting to turn that into more of a podcast interview format now. On Thursday nights at 8:30 p.m. only on the YouTube channel, though. We don't do it on TikTok. That's only over on the YouTube side. So definitely come on over and join us over there as well. So, and thank you all for all the likes and all of that. Thank you so much. Torren Vans, hi, how are you? I don't know if I said that right. Recommendations getting from Sanford Airport to Port Canaveral.
I'm just did a quick search. There's a Port Canaveral quick shuttle. There's GoPort. There's Rome to Rio. That sounds wrong. But yeah, there are a bunch of shuttle services that go from Sanford Airport to Port Canaveral.
Well, there you go. I have not actually sent a client from Sanford yet. Everybody that we've dealt with goes through Orlando, and there's just tons of shuttles.
But basically, Google Sanford Airport to Port Canaveral, and you'll come up with a list of different shuttle services.
There you go.
That will get you there.
So I can't recommend a specific one, but there you go. Rebecca just did a nice search. And again, for those of you who are new to the channel, my wife Rebecca is sitting right off camera. She is a partner in this whole Where's Walter travel thing. So hi, Torren. Oh, I'm amazing. Thank you very much. Thank you. R4, don't book your flight with Norwegian unless you're 100% okay with them choosing your flight time. So that is true of most of the cruise lines. It depends. Now, I will say that Princess, I've really been impressed with their Easy Air of late. They've really done an overhaul on the Easy Air. And number one, the prices that I'm seeing on Princess's site are either exactly the same or slightly higher than what I can see, say, on an Expedia. And they let you pick the specific time, the seats, everything on Princess Easy Air. Now, NCL, I have heard some people concerned and having some issues with their, especially if you do their free flight thing. Because if you do their free flight thing, that's the whole deal. They're going to assign you on a seat of their choice, and you pretty much have to go on their flight. So, but there are ways that you can do Norwegian flights, I believe, where you don't do the freebie, you actually pay for it, and then it should be more of a normal.
With most cruise lines, you can pay an extra quote unquote air deviation fee.
Yeah,
to get more choice.
But with, I'm sure you're talking about the Norwegian Free Air offer.
Well, yeah.
And the Norwegian Free Air offer, that's what it is. They get to pick the seats. They get to put you on the plane. So, yeah. Norma, oh, I'm glad you enjoyed the talk with Tamika as well. Thank you so much. Good morning, Becky. How are you? Good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. Good morning, Barbara. Good morning, Colonel Dave Dixon. You're going to be on the Seascape September 24th. Fantastic. You might want to tune in Thursday night over on the YouTube channel, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. We'll have Michael from MSC Cruises joining us Thursday night to talk all things MSC. You know, we went on the seaside a few weeks, actually now, like a month ago. God, it's been way too long since we've been on a cruise. And we were pleasantly surprised. You know, we saw all the negativity. And, of course, it had that horrible CDC review, you know, right before we went on it. But we had a great time on the MSC seaside. So, and you're going to be on the Seascape, which is the newest ship. She looked absolutely fabulous.
Robotron.
Yeah, Robotron. If you do Robotron, we want to see the video, or it didn't happen. I'm not doing Robotron. That's one of the, I'm a big roller coaster guy, but I am not doing Robotron. Not a chance. Mike is asking, have we been on the Norwegian Joy? We have not been on the Joy. We have been on the Escape and the Getaway. Now, the Joy, they just announced a major dry dock renovation. She's going in, I think, in January. Going to be completely redone. I think 3 weeks she'll be in the dry dock, and there's quite a bit being done to that ship during that time. So she's basically going to be a brand new ship, say January, February of next year. Well, February of next year. Looks like a beautiful ship, but have not been on it yet. Act Normal, you're trying to book something out of LA for September, but options seem to be limited. I don't know off the top of my head. I will say September is the last month of Alaska for most of the cruise lines. So the ships are still going to be up in Alaska. It's also winding down the Mediterranean season. So there's a lot of ships that are in the Mediterranean and Europe, and there's a lot of ships up in Alaska. So you're right in that in-between time. So October is probably when you're going to start seeing some more ships start showing up.
October, there are also a lot of ships going, well, not a lot, but there's a good amount of ships going up to Canada, New England for the leaf.
Yeah, exactly.
Foliage thing.
So, but you're going to start seeing ships coming down from Seattle like the last couple of weeks of September into October. Norwegian's actually going, I think, almost to Halloween up in Alaska, which is really, really late. But that's why you're seeing limited options in September out of LA. The ships are Alaska, Mediterranean, and then, like Rebecca said, some are going to go up to New England and do all of that. But if you look at October, you should start to see some more options. Philip, is there a version of the MSC World Europe that's going to be sailing out from the U.S.? Absolutely there is, and that's why Ocean K is going to close for, I think, 6 weeks next year. It is called the MSC World America. We don't know, actually we do know where she's sailing out of. She's sailing out of Miami, because I just booked somebody on it. It's either Miami or Port Canaveral. I think it's Miami. World America starts sailing in 2025. She is the second in that world class. So yeah, she'll be sailing out in 2025. No Robotron, but old fashions are your jam. Cheers. I don't have an old fashioned right now, but cheers to that. I love old fashioned. Yum, 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 yum. Good morning, Frank. How are you? Good morning. Yeah, Act Normal. I would wait till October, maybe even November. You'll get even more ships coming in. And then, of course, there's always the option to fly out to Hawaii and do that nice little round trip of Hawaii on the Spirit of America. That would be really awesome. So,
Pride of America.
Pride of America, whatever it's called. It's called something like that. When MSC World America sails out of Miami, where's Seascape going? It may not be going anywhere. That new terminal can hold 3 ships at a time. So they're building a brand new terminal in Miami. And according to them, they can have 3 ships docked up at that terminal. So in theory, MSC could have 3 ships going out of Miami at any given time. So we don't know if the Seascape's going anywhere or if it's staying there at this time. I don't think she has her schedule up for 2025. They put the World America up early so they could just start selling it. So yeah, we need all the big ships in Port Canaveral. And, you know, for those of you who don't know, Port Canaveral is the busiest cruise port in the world right now. Unbelievable. I don't understand how that's happened, but it has happened. It has eclipsed Port Miami, I guess, until some of these newer ships come in. So coming from Texas, where is the best place to board a ship to Alaska? Well, your 2 choices. Well, now you have 3 choices. There is one that sails out of San Francisco, but the most popular are going to be Seattle or Vancouver. And Vancouver will sometimes get you an extra port because it is slightly north of Seattle and the way it comes out.
Much.
Yeah. But I mean, I do notice that the Vancouver ones tend to have an extra port that the Seattle ones may or may not. But there's no best place. You know, Seattle, Vancouver are the 2 biggest ones. Yeah.
Or
and
if
then,
you're doing the one-ways.
Yeah, if you're doing a one-way, then you would do Anchorage, Whittier, or Vancouver kind of a thing. So, but there's no best place to board one. It's just what do you want to get out of it? So, yeah, go to Hawaii. What do you mean don't tempt you with Hawaii? Do it. Pride of America. Go watch Pero DJ just recently did it. Rebecca's mom did it. They loved it. They said it was great. I mean, it would be nice if it was the NCL Spirit that just had like that whole $100 million renovation on it, but that ship still looks like it's in great shape. So why not go do it? Go do it. Hey, Joe, how are you? Good to see you. 25 days. Oh, wow. Is it 25 days? Wow. That is absolutely amazing. So your friends just started in Skagway and went in reverse. I don't know if any cruises starting in Skagway.
Gosh.
Unless.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
There might be some more local cruise lines.
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah. Oh, Viking. Oh, yeah. So Viking might do that. Yeah. So Viking, they probably had some sort of a land tour first. And then they went down to Skagway. That would be my guess. But Viking can do that because Viking has much smaller ships. That is one of the cool things about doing, those the smaller ships, that they can have some really different itineraries. So that is really good. Yeah, Viking is up there, Oceana is up there, Herdegruten is up there. I'm blanking on one more, but there are some small ships up there that can do different things. That's really, really, really cool.
American Cruise Line.
Yeah. You want to do the 27-day from San Francisco to Hawaii and back? That would be lovely. Yeah, that would be absolutely lovely. I had a client who did the Princess, I think it was 15 days from LA out there and back. And it sounded like it was a lovely cruise. So that would be really nice. Any cruises that we recommend for the end of October and November, where do you want to sail from? That's the big thing. Well, David, you bring up an interesting point. You say, well, it's also a lot of money, but you have to compare Viking, Oceana, maybe Cunard and some of the others to everybody else. Because what's really interesting, when a lot of people actually like come home and then they run the math, it's like, oh yeah, I went on a cheaper cruise and then I paid an extra $1,500 for this and I paid an extra $1,000 for that. And I paid an extra $500 for this. And when you actually go and do the math, like for instance, I'll give you a great example. Oceana Cruises, 10 nights, Alaska cruise, and it's $12,000 for two people. And you're like, wow, $12,000. That includes the round trip flights. That includes almost everything on the ship. It's not 100% all inclusive, but it's almost all inclusive. So it's a 10-night cruise, $12,000 with the round trip flights included. And you put that up against a Celebrity, Royal Caribbean, and you go ahead and get yourself into like an Aqua class or a junior suite or something like that. And you compare the two. And you're like, oh, wait a minute. With the drink package, with all the food, with the flights, with all of this, it's like, wow, maybe I'm not paying more for the luxury line. And there's like 1,000 people on the ship versus 4,000 or 5,000. So you kind of have to do that math, and you have to look. It's just like the drink package, right? You got to kind of do the math. And when we start pricing some things, that's one of the things that we're starting to lean into now. It's like, well, yeah, Viking costs more than Celebrity, but let's see what the differences are once you add all the other things in. And I'm not saying it's for everybody, but in some cases it can work out. So good morning, Cindy. 41 days. So your next cruise. Awesome. Yeah, and time for fun. If you just want to give us an idea where you want to sail out of, I'll be glad to maybe throw some ideas up.
Down.
Okay, I'll be right with you. Which ship would we recommend from Seattle heading into Alaska for 5 to 7 days, leaving in August? I mean, we always lean into Princess all the time. That's our go-to cruise line for Alaska. And then Holland America is also outstanding in Alaska. Celebrity, good in Alaska. Norwegian has some smaller ships. I like the smaller ships because in Alaska is the star. And if you get something with all the stuff on top and all the things to do on the ship, you may not really get a chance to do them all, because Alaska is kind of like a river cruise on a big ship. That's what it really is. So you're going to spend more time on the shore than you might typically do in a Caribbean cruise. So I don't know of a specific ship. I mean, Princess has some of the Royal class coming out of there. I think they have like the Discovery Princess, maybe the Enchanted Princess, sailing out of Seattle. So maybe look at those. And then I think Holland has maybe the New Amsterdam might be out of there. I'm not really sure. I know NCL has their big ships. I know they have like the Encore and something else, I believe, sailing out of there. So that I would probably lean into Princess first, is what I would lean into. But it's all about the itinerary, not necessarily just about the ship. It's also about the itinerary. So, hey, Becky, you think Coral Princess is going to Alaska in 2025? Well, I actually have all the itineraries now. So if anybody is interested in booking Alaska 2025, I actually already have one group that we're putting together. And I've got some other folks that we're going to be talking to. That all comes out on August 3rd. But Princess has gone ahead and given us the advance information. We have all of the itineraries. I have some of the initial pricing. Now, the pricing could change between now and August 3rd. But I have what they anticipate the pricing will be. So I haven't actually looked to see which ships are going to be up there. But you typically do have, like the Sapphire Princess is almost always up there. Sometimes like the Island Princess, the really small ones can be up there as well. Coral would be a good one up there because it's a nice small ship. But I do know that we have 18 itineraries and I think 27 cruise tours from Princess coming in 2025. So that's going to be amazing. So They go on sale August 3rd. I think August 2nd for a certain level in Princess. So if you're at a certain loyalty level on Princess, you can actually start booking on August 2nd. But for everybody else, August 3rd. So if you're interested in Alaska 2025, that is definitely the way to go. Just go ahead and get in touch with us and we'll see what we can do. But yeah, we've already got a group. I think it's going to be a big group too. It's going to be crazy. Best cruise out of Galveston in June, July 2024. Well, I mean, you're going to have some choices there. You've got the Carnival Jubilee is going to be there. She's brand spanking new. They just floated her out. She looks fabulous. Royal Caribbean is going to have an Oasis class ship out of there. I don't know when Norwegian's going to be there. Norwegian's going to have, I believe, the Viva is going to be out of there. And I don't think Princess is not going to be there June, July. I don't know when Disney is there.
They're usually there towards the end of the year, like November, gotcha. October, November, December, somewhere in that range.
All right. So then you're probably going to have a choice between Norwegian, Carnival, and Royal. And honestly, they're all going to be good. It just it's going to depend on the itinerary and what do you want on the ship. Probably out of those three, the best shows are going to be Norwegian, and if it's the Viva, Norwegian's going to have Beetlejuice on it, and Royal Caribbean's going to have some really good shows too. Carnival has good shows. I don't think they're quite as good as the other two, but Carnival has that Fun Squad. Oh my God, the Fun Squad really is fun. They do a great job with trivia and all of those things. So the itineraries are going to be similar, because it's all going to be Western Caribbean for the most part. Royal Caribbean does do a couple of longer ones that will sneak out and go on over to Coco Cay. So if you're interested in Coco Cay, you might buy. I don't know if they're doing one in June, July. But your choices are probably going to be Royal, Norwegian, and Carnival. All three of them are going to be good choices. Just depends on what you want. Colonel Dave, what's the risk of hurricanes in late September? It could happen anytime. We usually, I should say, sail in September because that's our anniversary. And we actually sailed during Hurricane Irma, which was a massive Cat 5 storm and had some of the best weather we've ever had. So what I always remind people, ships can move, islands can't. And that's what's going to happen. If a hurricane threatens the cruise, they will simply change. And that's what we did. We had a 10-night cruise, maybe. I think it was 10 or 11. 10 or 11 nights we were on the Celebrity Equinox, actually. And we altered our course. We just went straight south to Curacao, got underneath the storm, and basically more or less followed the storm back in, hit everything except for 2 ports. So, okay, time for fun. You're back. Yay. Sail from Boston area east or out of Miami this year. And
that was October, November.
It was October, November.
October out of Boston, they'll probably still be doing some of the Canada, New England.
I think that's all they do out of Boston. Do they do any Caribbean out of Boston? I can't think of any.
I'm not entirely sure.
I can't think of any out of Boston that comes south. Now, out of New York, if you want to go down to New York, there are multiple ships there. You've got the MSC Meraviglia. You got the Carnival Venezia that looks absolutely amazing. And the Carnival Venezia is doing like some 14 days. She's doing some long cruises from New York. I don't know the exact timing on those. But then if you come down to Miami, well, I mean, my goodness, you've got choices in October. The ships are going to be starting to come back from the Med. I think the Beyond will be here by then.
It kind of depends on when in October.
Yeah.
Most of them are definitely going to be back sometime in November.
Yeah. So you're asking for like the best, any cruises that I'd recommend. And I don't know what you like and how big of a ship you want, but the Oasis class ships are a lot of fun from Royal Caribbean. The Solstice class, like the Celebrity Equinox, the Celebrity Reflection, I don't know what's going to be here, but those are beautiful ships. They're usually out of Fort Lauderdale. And then, of course, in Miami, you've got Virgin Voyages, which is like, that's one of our favorite cruise lines. I mean, I've got this little guy here. And we've got our Sailor Loot special going right now, too, by the way, where you get extra Sailor Loot if you book with us by July 31st. Tamika has a little special where she's going to throw Sailor Loot in. Now, Virgin Voyages is almost all-inclusive. So the only thing you really have to pay for is the alcohol. But even right now, they're giving you a $300 to $600 bar tab to get your meals on the ship. So I know it's like I can't really, because I don't know exactly what you want. What we typically do is we get on the phone with our clients and we'll have a whole discussion. And then we usually come up with 4 ideas for you, like 4 ships. Here's 4 different ships or 4 different itineraries to go on. That's how we usually work. So if you want a more adult-centric, look at Celebrity, look at Virgin Voyages. If you want something that will have families on it, but also a lot of things for adults, then you've got Royal Caribbean, Disney, Norwegian. I think the Escape will be running out of Port Canaveral, and they do have something out of Miami as well. I don't know everything off the top of my head, but that's a whole lot of ships I just threw at you. I'm sorry. So sorry about that.
And just a reminder to people, Walter will get to your question. So
oh yeah,
patience.
if you're asking the questions multiple times, you can tell I like to try to answer everybody's question, and I like to give a good answer, or at least take a little time with each answer, so you don't have to ask your questions multiple times. That's one of the things Rebecca does. If I miss a question, Rebecca's going to make sure that I answer it. So
or do my best.
Yeah. Is Allure moving to Canaveral along with the Wonder? So Allure is moving there short term, and I think once the Utopia comes in, then the Utopia is going to take over. And then it will be Utopia and the Wonder sitting there in Port Canaveral. But she'll be there for a short time of year. What time of year for Norwegian cruise if you want to catch the Northern Lights? And I'm assuming that you actually mean Norway when you say Norwegian cruise. What's really interesting, I want to say it's like September to October. I'm trying, because Hurtigruten Expeditions actually has a guarantee. They have a Northern Lights guarantee, and I'm trying to think of what that time of year is, because they do have specific cruises. But if you don't see the Northern Lights, you get a free cruise. I'm like, well, that's cool. I'd have to look that up, the dates, because I know that in Alaska, if you go to Fairbanks, starting at the end of August, if you stay in Fairbanks for 3 nights, you have a 90% chance of seeing them, starting in August, all the way into the season. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, yeah, usually the high points of the Northern Lights are kind of more in the late fall to winter.
Yeah. So I would have to look that up for you, Philip. If you want to reach out after the show, I'll be more than happy to look that up. Like I said, Hurtigruten Expedition, amazing cruise line. They're wonderful to work with. I love working with those guys. They're so incredibly cool. But they have a guarantee. If you don't see the Northern Lights, you get a free cruise. How cool is that? Out of Galveston in June or July. Did I answer that? Yeah. I did. Okay. Lady K, you use a mobility scooter. Would it be feasible for me to go to Alaska using it? Now, that's a fantastic question. Now, you can go to Alaska for sure. I mean, you can go on the ships, and where there's not a tender port, meaning, with the boats to get off the ship. Now, some of the larger ships, depending on the schedule, like where some ships are docking in, then your ship may or may not. You can certainly go around the towns. And if you can get up off your scooter and get onto a bus, you will be able to take some of like the motor coach tours and things like that. Other than that, I mean, I don't really see why you couldn't. You're probably not going to be doing like a lot of stuff, but most of the Alaska cruises are going to have 1 or 2 days of what they call scenic cruising anyway, which is going to be the glaciers. You're just sitting on the ship looking at them, and the towns are small, but you should be able to get off the docks in, say, Ketchikan and Skagway and Juneau. I mean, you can get off the dock. If you can step onto a small boat, all the whale watching is usually on a smaller boat, so you will have to be able to step off the dock, get onto a boat. Of course, they're going to help you. And then if you can step off that boat and get onto the dock, but I wouldn't let it stop you from going to Alaska. You may not be able to do everything. I don't know if you can get on a helicopter and then get off the helicopter and walk on a glacier for a little bit, but the scooter alone should not stop you from going on up there. I think you could. You're just going to have to do some research. If you want to reach out, we'd be more than happy to help you out. That's one of the things that we do as a travel concierge. If we do some research, we'll look in to see what kind of tours can you do, where can you go. That we'd be more than happy, but I don't think that should stop you from going to Alaska. Yeah. How soon can you book a 2026 Alaska cruise? Next year. Next year. August is going to open 2025, so probably August, September of next year.
For Princess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for pretty much everybody.
Well, it'll start rolling out, yes.
Yeah. So it'll start rolling out, but it'll be next year. They're usually about 18 months, or they're like 24 months away out. So next year for 2026. Thank you, Act Normal, for the compliment. I appreciate that. What about the Carnival Mardi Gras in May? What about it? That'd be awesome. So May is kids are getting out of school in May, especially in the South. They start to get out of school, so we'll start to pick up. Now, when did we went in March?
March, yeah.
We went in March, and that ship had, I don't know which was correct, 5,500, 5,900 people on her. So she was basically full. And we had a blast. We had an absolute blast. We don't have kids, and we had a great time on this ship. These ships are big, so they do spread people around, and Carnival's done a nice job putting things on multiple decks. So even at night, not everybody's congregating on 5, 6, 7 or 6, 7, 8, whatever it is. There's stuff to do on the upper decks. There's stuff to do out front. There's stuff to do in the back. So it does spread people out. Now, there are choke points on that ship. You know, especially around the what they call Grand Central, where they do the shows. There's like big crowds of people trying to get in and out there. So that's a choke point. But otherwise, it's a great ship. So much food. Oh my gosh, Shack Chicken, Blue Iguana, Street Eats. Oh God, Rudy's Sea Grill. If you have a special occasion, Rudy's Sea Grill is an amazing seafood restaurant. So do you need to be vaccinated? As of right now, there may just be a couple of places where you still need to, but as of right now, it's more or less opened up. Yeah. Is the Princess Plus a Carnival drink package? No, it is not. That's only for Princess. Princess Cruises. So Carnival has Cheers. Cheers. And it is
Well, Cheers and Bubbles.
Yeah, Cheers and Bubbles. So Bubbles is the soda, Cheers is the alcohol, but there's a big difference between Princess Plus and the Cheers package. The Cheers package is a drinks package. It's like around $60 a day, something like that. Princess Plus is also $60 a day, but it's a drinks package, your Wi-Fi, and your gratuities all rolled into one. So the drinks package is about $27 once you take out the gratuities and the Wi-Fi. So Princess Plus is an excellent deal. That's all drinks up to $15, including your specialty coffee. I think the Princess Plus, we always price that for our clients because it is such a good deal on Princess. It really is. How do I like RC? First time on RC. I think Royal Caribbean is a great cruise line. You know, Royal Caribbean is a family cruise line, right? So you are going to have a lot of kids on there, depending on which ship. I don't know which ship you're going on, but you know, you get on the Voyager class, the Quantum class, the Oasis class. Going to be a lot of kids on there because there's a lot of things to do, but the kids have their places to go. I think their specialty dining is pretty good. If you got Izumi on there, Izumi is a really good sushi and teppanyaki. I mean, it's really, really good. Wonderland, if it's there, I think it's fun to do one time. I don't know if you're going to do it a lot of time. And Hooked Seafood really got our attention on the Symphony the last time. Those are really, really good. And if you happen to be on an Oasis class ship, the Park Cafe is a great place to get breakfast or lunch where you don't have big crowds of people. So I just saw the news yesterday. Anybody now going to Europe will have to have a visa. No, they don't have to have a visa. That is actually incorrect. And I actually printed out the information because that's one of the things I was going to be talking about today. So I'm going to take a quick pause from your questions and let me dive into that question. Starting in 2024, and here's the thing, we don't have a date yet. They just say starting in 2024. Citizens of about 60 countries are going to have to get a, they're going to have to go through, where is it? ETIAS, and it's not a visa, it's a visa waiver. So there are 60 countries, including the United States, where citizens are going to have to apply for this. And basically, it's a U.S.-style electronic travel authorization system. That's actually what it stands for. It stands for, where is it? The European Travel Information and Authorization System. So it's basically countries that don't require a visa to come into the European countries. You will now be required to get authorization to enter that country. If you don't get this authorization when the system is in place, you will be turned away. So you really do need to pay attention to this thing coming online. It's coming online in 2024. So they're rolling out a U.S.-style electronic travel authorization system for visitors from countries that are currently not part of the European Union. These visitors have been granted visa-free access to the EU and Schengen member countries through virtue of their good track record on security. You are not deemed a threat to the EU. However, the EU is going to strengthen its border security. So as part of strengthening their border security, they are introducing they're introducing European Travel Information and Authorization System, ETIAS. So not a visa, it's a visa waiver. And here's the up. It's already up there, but it's not running yet. So we all have to kind of keep an eye on that. And trust me, I'm actually going to do a TikTok about this right after the show. And I will definitely be doing TikTok as we get more information. But yes, Americans will 100% have to get this ETIAS. Now, it is expected that it will all be done electronically. Well, we know it's going to be done electronically. It's expected that it will take about 48 hours for your approval. It could take up to 96 hours for your approval. So basically, in, 90 to 100 days, I don't have it on this printout. No. You'll be able to stay for something like 90 to 100 days under the ETIAS, and then you'll have to get another one to stay in the country. But yes.
And it's going to cost approximately $8. The fees in pounds, but it will cost
approximately €7 is what they're showing on the website currently. So, and so here, I'm going to say it again, ETIAS.com is a great independent website that gives all kinds of information on it. That's what I was actually reading on this morning. And then ETIAS, I think, .eu is the official site where you will be applying. So thank you for bringing that up.
And the other thing is it's going to be good for 3 years or until your passport expires.
Yeah. So you're still going to have your passport to enter Europe. But now you're going to have to fill out this ETIAS authorization to enter the EU country. And by the way, this applies to people from England because they're no longer in the EU. So if you're going to be visiting EU and Schengen member countries, you will now need to get ETIAS authorization. So, and I know the news is going to keep reporting it as a visa. It's not a visa. So there you go. Okay, now I'm going to get back to questions. Thank you for being patient, everybody. I'm going to get to all of your questions. Trust me, and Rebecca's going to help me stay up on them. So thank you for being patient. And if you didn't understand what I just said, I'll try to repeat it.
And you'll have a TikTok later.
I'm going to have a TikTok later. In fact, I have a blog. If you go to where'swaltertravel.com, I posted it in the blog, and there's like 5 or 6 links in there that will take you to other stuff as well. Harmony of the Seas versus the new Carnival ship out of Galveston, your very first time cruising. Toss a coin. Seriously. I think you could toss a coin. So here's the differences, really. I think Royal Caribbean has a better buffet than Carnival. In that class of ship, we went on the Mardi Gras. We were underwhelmed by it. The Jubilee is going to have tons more food included, like has so much food included, unbelievable amount of food, including shack chicken, which is just so amazing. I love it. And the pizza is really good. Pizza wins on Carnival, no question, hands down, forget it. Pizza better on Carnival. The shows are going to be better on Royal Caribbean. They put a lot of money and time into their original shows. And if they're doing a Broadway show, they put a lot of time and effort into
Harmony. I'll have to look at
that. The Harmony, probably, if you're going with kids, it's probably going to have like a few more things to do. Now, the Jubilee, it's going to have the roller coaster. They're going to have the water slides and other things, whereas Royal Caribbean is going to have ice skating, the flow rider, a few more water slides and things like that.
It's Greece.
Oh, okay. So right now the show is Greece on the Harmony, and then they probably have some sort of an original show as well. So that really is a flip a coin. Look at what's included on the 2 ships. Carnival definitely wins for the most included food. They've got excellent pizza, shack chicken, unbelievable. Blue iguana is really good. And then on the Harmony of the Seas, you're going to have a better buffet. You're going to have better shows. And there may be a few more things that you want to do, such as the flow rider and things like that.
I will say the alcoholic drink package will be cheaper on Carnival.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The alcohol package.
I would say, unless you get a really good sale on Royal.
Yeah. It's a Mardi Gras good ship. It's an excellent ship. I have a whole playlist on TikTok, and I have a whole playlist on YouTube. Go check it out. We had a great time. Time for fun. I see you're back in there. Yeah, New York. Yeah, check out New York. If New York is in play for you, check out the Carnival Venezia and the MSC Meraviglia. 2 great ships out of New York. And then if you go over to New Jersey, Royal Caribbean and Celebrity. Celebrity has their Solstice class sailing out of there. I would definitely look at that as well. You're on a Prima in December, Virgos. Yes, that is totally awesome. Rachel, what is the weather like in the Caribbean in March? The weather is actually pretty consistent in the Caribbean in terms of temperature. It gets hot in the summer, obviously, but in March, it's going to start coming up. Now, we did an Eastern Caribbean on the Mardi Gras, and there were a couple of nights where I was wearing a long sleeve shirt. Now, I wasn't wearing a sweater, but I was wearing a long sleeve shirt because the ship was moving. It was breezy at night. It actually got a little bit cool, but during the day, it was lovely. I think January, February, March are fantastic times to cruise the Caribbean because that's when it's a little bit cooler. And then, October, November, December. In the middle there, it's definitely going to be hotter, but you have the prevailing breezes down there. So which cruise lines don't offer a drink package? Well, Disney does not offer a drink package, but I did learn when we had DCL Duo on the show, and I highly recommend you go over to YouTube and watch that show with DCL Duo. We talked all things Disney because they are awesome. So they don't offer one. Virgin, I think, has the best one on the market with their bar tab. I absolutely love it. And then if it, the all-inclusive lines won't. But as far as I know, Disney is the only one that doesn't actually sell a typical drink package.
Well, Virgin's isn't a standard drink package.
No, but it's the best drink package. Yeah. It's a bar tab. It's just fabulous. When is the best time to sail? Whenever you're ready to go. Seriously, we have sailed pretty much any time of the year. And it also depends on where you're going, right? So like if you want to go to Alaska, there's only a certain window. If you want to go to the Mediterranean, there's really only a certain window if you want to go on like the mainstream cruise line. So anytime at the best, seriously, anytime is an excellent time to get on a cruise ship. So David, we appreciate you too. Thank you very much. Hi, Greg. What do I think of the Liberty of the Seas ship? So we've been on the Freedom, which is her sister, and I've had a whole bunch of clients, not by choice. It just sort of kind of happened that the Liberty was the ship that was, the best one at that time. Had a whole bunch of people go on the Liberty. They have loved it. They have absolutely loved that ship. So I think it's a great ship. The Freedom class is a good class. My two favorites now, though, with Royal Caribbean is the Voyager class, which is the one just before that, slightly smaller than that ship. And then the Oasis class. I love those two, but I have not been on the Quantum class yet. So user 722, is it best to use a travel agent for your first cruise? Absolutely. That's what we are. We are travel agents. We would love to help you, but we cruised for 20 years before we became travel agents. Almost 20 years. We always use a travel agent for every single cruise. And the biggest reason why is because the cruise line purposely, and really all the travel providers, make it somewhat difficult to compare apples to apples. I want to look at Princess, Holland America, Royal Caribbean, Carnival, and it's really hard to tell, well, are the cabins the same? Are the packages the same? We always, whether it's us, we would love to work with you, but find a good travel advisor, a good travel agent to work with, because it just takes everything off your shoulder. I'll tell you, here's how we work. We get on the phone with you, and we talk through, what are your wants? What are your needs? How big of a ship might you want to be on? What kinds of things do you want to do? And then once you're on the ship, how important is food? How important are the shows? How important is this? And then we will come up with 3 or 4 suggestions for you. We go back and we do, and we're not going to do it right on the phone. We're going to go do some research and check all the cruise lines out, that time frame that you want to go, and then we're going to present you with 3 or 4 options, and you don't pay us a thing. We're absolutely free to you. And once we get the booking done, then we're with you until you go home, So we're any questions you have, anytime you want to schedule, you need help with the excursions, you need help with the flight, the hotels, whatever. Things change as we start in the ramp up to the cruise. We go in and we take care of the changes and all of that. So you've got somebody advocating on your side. So if something comes up, I've got, they say, hey, I got a guy. I've got a guy or a woman at every single cruise line that I can literally pick up the phone and call to get things done. So yeah, I would definitely, whether it's us or somebody else, please do use a travel agent. You're going to get the best value for your buck, and I think you're going to get the best first cruise when you use a travel agent, or really any cruise. We just love doing it. We just love helping people out. I mean, I've been cruising for almost 20 years, and it's just so exciting, especially for people with their first cruises. I really get excited helping y'all to pick the right, because it's really important to get on the right first ship. Even though Alaska is going to be amazing, you got to get on the right ship, or you may not have as good of a time as it was, as it should be. Frank, you're awesome, man. Thank you so much for the love. I really appreciate it. What month is the best time to book a cruise price-wise? Really, any time. The best time, really the best time to price cruises is when the itineraries come out. Like August 3rd, Alaska 2025 is going to be released for Princess. That is going to be the time that they are probably going to be the absolute best price and the best availability. Now, when you work with a travel agent, we can go in and get your rate adjusted. Like if Princess has a big sale for Black Friday and suddenly your cabin is $500 less, as long as we haven't gotten to final payment, I'm going to call Princess and we're going to get your cabin rate adjusted down. So really, the longer you wait, cruising is still white hot right now. I mean, it is ridiculous. Spring break 2024 is so far sold already for the Florida ports. It's getting harder and harder to find cabins. So really, when you're ready to book. And then if the prices, don't worry about the prices going down, because if they go down, we'll just get it rate adjusted. That's all. So just book. Hey, Ann, waiting for my Portugal reply. Portugal reply. Ann, didn't we already do Portugal? I thought we already met on the Portugal. I thought I was just waiting.
I think she sent another email.
Oh, did you send another email? Oh, I'm so sorry. I haven't seen it yet this morning. If you just sent it this morning, I haven't seen it yet.
No, I saw it yesterday.
Okay, so you sent it yesterday. I'm sorry. I was working on a couple of proposals. So yay! So Ann, it's going to Portugal. I'm so excited. Okay, Ann, I'll get it. I haven't even looked at the at my emails today, to be honest with you. So yay! Okay, I'm gonna get in touch with you. Don't worry. I'll get to you. Oh, thank you, user 247. I really appreciate it. Desiree saying her first cruise. She's been cruising for 12 years, and her first cruise was on the Carnival Fantasy. Yes. Thank you, Desiree. That is so awesome. Really appreciate you chiming in as well. Yes. How do you get a visa? So if you're in the United States, you don't have to worry about getting a visa to go to Europe. It is a visa waiver. So the system is called ETIAS. It's going to launch in 2024. That's all we know. They haven't said when. It's going to affect the European Union. When the system comes out, you will apply electronically. And the word is that what we're hearing early is that it should take about 48 hours for an approval, maybe up to 96 if they have some questions. But that's what it is. So it's not a visa per se. It is a visa waiver, because Americans do not need a visa to go into the European Union countries. And this affects not just Americans, but it affects like Canadians, Australians, like 60 countries are going to have to get this. So you don't need a visa. You need the ETIAS authorization to enter those countries. And if you don't have it when the system is in place, you will be denied entry into that country. So we definitely need to keep up with this, and we need to make sure that everybody gets accurate information. So I will be doing a TikTok on it after this broadcast, and certainly talking more about it, especially when we find out, like, when is it going to start? We don't know when it's going to start yet. So is September a good time to go to Alaska? So here's the thing, Cher. Early September, yes, but things are going to start to close down the later in September. That's why I really don't understand Norwegian. And like I said, they're staying there till about Halloween this year, and it's going to be nice and cold up there, but things are going to start closing. The tour operators are not, the independent tour operators especially, are going to be closing down. Some of the restaurants, some of the shops are going to close down because there's not enough traffic there anymore. So I think like the first 2 weeks in September, and also if you're doing a land sea tour, the Tundra Wilderness Tour shuts down at like mid-September in Denali National Park. So that first week of September, I think would be a really good time to go. Do I recommend the train tour excursion in Alaska? Oh, I'm really glad you brought that up. I assume you're talking about the White Pass Yukon Railway in Skagway. Yeah, it's really good. But the train operators have voted to go on strike. And right now we're in like week 3 of the mediation process or something like that. We've got a few more weeks to go. And if that doesn't go well, then the train operators are going to go on strike starting mid-August. So if any of you are going to Alaska and you're going to be in there after mid-August, keep an eye on that story, because they will shut down the train, unfortunately. So hopefully, but yes, it's a really fun excursion. Check out the Sean and Steph channel right now. I've got a link to Stephanie in my link tree. And if you're watching on YouTube, I think I've got a link to her down in my description as well. and check out Cruise with Ben and David. They did the train. They did the Alaska cruise together, along with Pero DJ as well. Actually, all three of them were on the ship. And they did the train tour, and Ben, especially on Cruise with Ben and David, he did an amazing job filming. Of course, he is a cameraman, but he did an amazing job filming that tour. So check it out. So Bigfoot, you're at the NGL terminal in Miami waiting to get on the Escape. Yes, the Escape. Go to Food Republic. Please go to Food Republic. It is so amazing. So amazing. So user 247, I think you're talking about passports?
Actually, the whole thing was the visa, which isn't really a visa. Their local TV station basically had not complete, correct information.
Yeah, a lot of anytime that you see visa, you don't need a visa. You have to have a passport. That is backlogged badly right now. So if you need a passport, like in December, I hope you've already applied for it.
But you don't do that through the DMV. That's state.gov.
Yeah. The DMV is not going to help you with a passport. Now, your local FedEx office could, because they can expedite it. But you don't go to the DMV for your passport. You do state.gov. You can get, well, I guess maybe there could be some local DMVs, maybe. And then
the visa waiver.
It's a visa waiver, ETIAS. It takes 48 hours according to what we're reading, and it's not available yet, but it will be. So going on your first going on your first cruise in September on the MSC Seaside. Well, make sure you check out our playlist here on TikTok. I still got to get my videos over on the YouTube. They're not over there. So, but yeah, check out my playlist here on TikTok. I have a couple of quick reviews, and I've got a lot of food reviews on the Seaside. Seaside is a good ship, but you got to manage your expectations going in. It's a cheap cruise, so you got to manage your expectations going in. And if you manage your expectations, you're going to have a great time. We had a fabulous time, but we knew going in, this is not going to be Royal Caribbean. It's not going to be, Princess. It's not going to be, there's a reason why it's cheaper. And if you accept it for what it is, and I hope you're going to Ocean Cay. What an island. What a beautiful island. How last minute, if the ship is not full, do they still let people book? It depends on the ship, the sailing, the cruise line. They have closed cruises a month out. And then I just booked somebody in 3 weeks, I think, August 13th. But I've seen it where ships are still open the week of. They got to be closed, I think, 48 hours out. Somewhere around 48 hours. They have to close it because then they've got to get the manifest out. But I have seen, like, Royal Caribbean's been shutting down ships like a month out. So it just depends on the ship. There is no, the local TV station would not be correct on that particular one.
Well, not entirely.
Yeah,
they're
not entirely
wrong, but they're not entirely correct.
Yeah, so just to clarify, no visa required. Passport, yes, required. You will have to get a visa waiver called the ETIAS starting in 2024, and you will apply for it via a website. Nothing to do with the U.S., nothing to do with passport. You will apply this etias.eu, I believe is the website. That is where you will be applying for it. If you go to where'swaltertravel.com, go into my blog. It's literally the first article that you're going to find because I just posted it today. There are links to the official site, and there are links to etias.com. Simple reading, real easy reading, and then you'll have the straight information. And share that. Please share it with people. Share those links with people so that they can get the correct information and start passing it along. So, Teresa, you're going on a cruise in September to Alaska. Do I need a visa or just my California ID? If you are starting or ending in Vancouver, you have to have a passport. If it's just Seattle loop round trip, you do not need a passport. You will need your California ID and you will need a birth certificate. So if you don't have both, you're not going to be let on the ship. So make sure you got that birth certificate. So, hi, Just Sassy. How are you? You're welcome. You're welcome. The UK is not included in the EU. No, remember?
Someone says that later.
Brexit. Yeah. Great Britain voted out.
Brexit.
Yeah. So let's see. Krista, you're traveling with a minor next year to Italy. I found info that the passport needs to be good 3 months after depart, 6 months after depart. Not 3 months, 6 months.
Although different countries technically have different rules, but your airline could refuse you if your passport doesn't meet the 6 month. requirement. And it's, I believe, after you depart Italy, not after you depart the US.
Yeah. So it's really 6 months. 6 months is like the golden rule. In fact, I've got a client right now. I've been going back and forth with Virgin Voyages. Her passport literally is like 3 days shy of 6 months, and we think she's going to have to get a new one just to do it, because basically it's not even Virgin Voyages saying it is some of the countries that they're going to visit. So
yeah, and I did read that, like, especially for Europe, some of the airlines, even if the countries don't require it, the airline could potentially refuse you on the flight if it's not good for 6 months after your departure from the country, Italy.
So David, isn't the Venezia moving to Canaveral in late 24? Yeah, she's going to do a season in 2024 out of Port Canaveral, the winter season. I don't know if she's staying here. I think she's going to go back to New York, because the plan is to have her in New York. In fact, I was surprised they were bringing her down here. But I believe that's just the winter season, and then she's going to go back. We don't know for sure. So you're on the horizon August 11th. How do you pay the gratuity? You still have time to prepay it. No, you're past final payment.
Horizon is
Carnival.
Well, on Carnival, I was able to log. I don't know the time frame, but I was able to log on to my Carnival account online and personally prepay our gratuities.
Oh, there you go. You can try that. They might still let you do that, your past final payment. The other way you would do it, it would just simply be charged to your room every day of the cruise.
Yes.
So it'll just automatically be charged to you on the ship. So you can do it either way. It's going to be the same price. You don't save anything by prepaying it. It'll be the exact same price. So you can try that, log into, I didn't even know we could do that. See that?
For Carnival.
That's why Rebecca's here.
Like Royal Caribbean,
Yeah,
on Royal Caribbean, if you book through a travel agent, your travel agent's the only one who can prepay gratuities. If you book through Royal, you have to call Royal and prepay gratuities. Or you can do it on the ship, as always with every line. You can do it on the ship.
So, yeah. Oh, and it's your first cruise. Yay. Welcome to the cruising family. Awesome. But yeah, so it's kind of like a resort fee, really. If you stayed at hotels where they charge a resort fee, that's exactly what they're going to do for you on the ship. They're just going to run it, and it's exactly the same cost. So KJ Barge, you want to plan a cruise trip? Well, reach out. Go ahead. If you click my logo, it'll take you to a link where you can contact us, or where'swaltertravel.com, and click contact us and set up a time. I have an online calendar on there. That is the easiest way, people, to set up a time, because if you email me and say, hey, I want to talk, I'm going to email you back and say, hey, what time and day do you want to meet? So you might as well just go into the calendar, set up a good time that's good for you, and I'll just give you a call, or we'll do a video chat, whichever way you want to do it. August is hurricane season. Should you be concerned? Not really. The only issue that you will have is if the hurricane threatens the home port. That's really it. If it threatens the home port, then the ship coming in may not come in on time, so your cruise will be delayed. However, if you're the one on the ship and you can't get into home port, that's a free cruise day. Yeah, you don't get charged for your stateroom if you have to stay on there. So we have cruised maybe 4 or 5 times now in September. It's our anniversary. Cruise ships can move. The islands can't. So they're going to change the itinerary. It's what they're going to do. They generally stay well over 100 miles away from the hurricane. So you don't even get like the waves and stuff. But sometimes, the hurricane changes track and it gets a little closer to the ship than they expected. So you will get some of the wave action. But no, you shouldn't be concerned at all. Really, the ships do a great job. User 817, if a cruise line's website says a room is sold out, can you see any difference in availability? Generally, no. What we might see is a category that says guaranteed in our booking engine, and it may say sold out on the public site because they don't want anybody booking anymore, but they might still have it as a guarantee. That's really the only thing that we're going to see. But what I can see is if there's any other in that category. If the room itself is sold, then you can't get that room. But if you're just looking for that category, I can certainly just go in and check out all the cabins in that category and see what else is available for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Samuel, you got distracted from what I was saying. How did you get distracted? Come on, man, stay with me. The Virgin Voyages offer. I don't think I said how late you could sail. So with Virgin Voyages and that sailor loot, the extra sailor loot from Tamika, I believe that's good for all sailings. It's the bar tab that's going to end in April. So if you book right now, you won't get the bar tab if you book a cruise past April right now, as far as they're going. But in terms of that sailor loot that Tamika was offering, as far as I know, that was for all sailings. I didn't see a restriction on it had to be sailed by a certain date. So yeah. When booking, do we check for price reductions or you? Well, we both do. You know, I have clients that will reach out to me and say, hey, I think it's on sale. And where we run into problems sometimes is, you know, Norwegians like balconies on sale for $900, but it's just a guaranteed balcony. That's the only one that's on sale. And then you have, you know, a different category of it, so it doesn't affect you. But it works both ways. I have clients reach out to me, and then other times I'll see it. We had one client, we saved $800. I mean, I've nothing else has come close to that. But she said, man, I swear I'm looking on the website and my cabin category is like $800 less. And I checked it. Sure enough, picked up the phone, called the cruise line, $800 off her balcony. But usually it's like $50, $100, things like that. Literally had one cruise 2 months in a row. It dropped by $200. So 2 months in a row, I called Royal Caribbean. Got it. Price reduced. So we do both because, you know, we are managing a lot of clients. We do our best to try to go in and check. But it's really, you know, it can be with a lot of bookings. So I strongly encourage my clients, if you happen to see it, because you're going to get those sale notices. The minute we book a cruise, that cruise line is going to be hitting you up with notices. Hey, this is on sale. That's on sale. And if you get it, I get like 200 emails a day. So it's like, you know, everybody's like, sell this, sell that, sell that. It's just like, yeah, okay, I'll do it on my own. But we do both. We do both. And if you see it, I just call in and get it. As long as we haven't done final booking yet. When you get into final booking, final payment, the cruise is now paid for. What the cruise line might do, but they're not obligated, is to give you some onboard credit to make up that difference. But once we get past final payment, the cruise line is no longer off. In fact, they're not even obligated to price reduce anywhere along the way. They just do it. But once we hit final payment, they will no longer reduce the price of your cabin. They might give you some onboard credit.
And when we're talking price reductions, you have to look at the price from the cruise line, not some, say, discount
Correct.
website.
It has to be
the price on the cruise line's website.
Because you might see some discount websites and they're like, hey, we've got it for, we did run into that with one of our clients. And my best guess is that website pre-purchased some cabins that they were then trying to resell. But it wasn't from the cruise line. So the cruise line was not going to honor that price. They're only going to honor their own prices. I got a question down here. Macrina, with Carnival's new MDR menu rollout, what ship do I think will be added next celebration? And do you think they will do this for September, since August is the next published rollout? I don't know what their schedule is. I really don't know what their plans are. My guess is that they're going to start. Well, actually, my guess is that they would start with the smaller ship to try it out before they launch it on the bigger ships. But I really don't know. I have no inside knowledge on the rollout plan and whether they were going to, what order they're going to do. I really don't know. And how quick. Certainly, I would think by the fourth quarter, certainly by the holidays, it will be on all of the ships. But we really don't know. We really don't know. So thank you for the question. I wish I could do that. Desiree's asking, if I were to book with you, how much would you charge for a studio cabin with Norwegian, Royal Caribbean, sailing to the Caribbean? Well, that all depends. Desiree,
ship, what time of year?
Yeah, what ship,
sailing?
what time of year, all of those good things. And I can't answer that during this call because I've got to go into the booking engine. So I don't have that knowledge in my head. I've got to go into the booking engine. So if you want to reach out, Desiree, for a call, we can certainly take a look. I'd be more than happy to take a look. So good. I'm really glad that Carnival is addressing their dining, because I thought their MDR was so weak. So hopefully this is going to be good.
Although the mashed potatoes that were aside on your, they were
really good. They had really good mashed potatoes. That was their saving grace. So
they didn't look good, but they tasted amazing.
Yeah. Any tips on the Carnival Cruise Panorama? It's your first time. Wow. First time cruise. Congratulations. I have a client, their first cruise. They're just leaving it today. 3 cabins, family, brand new, first time on there. I think that's the one that has an IMAX theater. and it has a lot of great things to do on it. The Panorama is the largest, and I believe it's the final Vista class ship that they built. Let's see. The pizza is really good. If the pizza is like it was on a Mardi Gras, the pizza should be really, really good. They have their fun squad really is fun. I think Carnival probably does some of the best trivia and the most trivia of any of the ship that I've been on. They do a lot of really fun games on there. Their entertainment is good. It's not the best entertainment at sea, but their entertainment is good. I've been told that the steakhouse is excellent. We didn't do the steakhouse on Carnival. We did Rudy Seagrill. We don't know if that's on there. I think it's only on the newest ships. But you're going to have a great time. That's pretty much it. Have a good time. That's my best piece of advice. Oh, know that on sea days, on the days that you don't have a port day, the pools are going to be full. You know, you're going to have a hard time finding a seat around the pool. That's just the way it is on every single ship. If you want a seat out by the pool during a sea day, you're pretty much going to have to be out there at 5 in the morning and claim your chair. That's just so it's not like a Carnival thing. It's not a Panorama thing. Every cruise ship out there, especially the bigger ones. So just have fun. I mean, just, you know, I don't know what you're expecting. Just go in and have some fun, enjoy it, relax. You're on a cruise ship. People are waiting on you. And just make sure you fully understand what's included and not included so that there's no surprises for you. You know, if you're working with a travel agent, they should be able to help you with that because there will be things included, not included. I don't want you to have any sudden surprises like, oh, I didn't know that wasn't included. If a train goes on strike, what are the other options? Oh, my God, Skagway, there's so much to do. You can take a helicopter to a glacier or to a dog sled camp. That's what we did. We were supposed to go to the dog sled camp, but they had to cancel it because the clouds were too low. So we went to a glacier instead and landed on a glacier. What else is there to do in Skagway? I can't think.
The town's really cute to walk around.
The town is awesome. Yeah, it's really awesome. So if they lose the train, that'll be a bummer, but there are still quite a few things to do in Skagway. I can't think off the top of my head because I keep thinking whale watching, but that's Juneau. That's Harv and Marv. Oh my God, Harv and Marv are like the bomb. They are it. If you're going to Juneau, Harv and Marv whale watching, they are amazing. If you need a passport, go to the local post office.
Yeah, a lot of post offices.
Oh, okay, that's a great tip. Thank you, Jeremy. I love that. Thank you so much. Let's see. When is final payment due for a 2025 cruise? Final payments are due between 90 and 120 days before sailing date. Depends on the cruise line, but 90 to 120 days is a good rule of thumb. So if you're going to do an August 2025 cruise with July, June, May, like May, April, somewhere in there. Yeah. You hear people complaining about how long to get a passport. You did a renewal last year in 3 weeks. Well, now it's taking 6 months or longer. It's amazing. It's just crazy. And
a lot depends on the particular passport office where your application goes to.
Gotcha.
I think there are about 8 around, maybe 6 to 8 around the country.
Oh, okay.
And depending on where you live, your application will go to a certain office.
Right.
So a lot will also depend on which office. Gotcha. I don't know which ones are slower and which ones are quicker, but you have no choice in that matter. So.
Carmi, I got Macrina here saying that the Carnival Steakhouse Fahrenheit 555 and teppanyaki is wonderful. No Rudy Seagrill on the Panorama, but Macrina is recommending the Carnival Steakhouse Fahrenheit 555 and teppanyaki on the Panorama. Thank you so much for that. I love it when y'all chime in and give advice. That is so wonderful. Why is that the 6-month mark on passports? Part of it is because if something happens and you're stuck in the country, you've got to leave the country. No cruise is guaranteed. Ships break down, things happen. You get sick, you get injured, you've got to be let off the ship, and you may have to stay in that country for a certain. There was a woman who was let off last year. I had to stay in the hospital for up to 20 days in Jamaica. So there's one example of having it. I don't know why it's 6 months. I've never actually looked it up to see why it's 6 months, but that is the general rule. Yeah. You would have saved prepaying before gratuity.
that is true. That is the one way you save.
So that's a great point. So Kristen is saying you would have saved prepaying before the gratuity went up for Carnival. Gratuities go up all the time. They may go up.
Especially lately.
Yeah, like once a year, definitely. Maybe twice a year in some cases, those gratuities go up. If you prepay them, you're paying what it is that day. If you don't prepay your gratuities, you're paying whatever it is the day that you get on the ship. The gratuities are not married to your booking. Your gratuities are married to when you get on the ship. So if the gratuities go up, like those of you booking 2024, 2025, you sure as heck should be prepaying your gratuity because they're going up. They're going to go up once, maybe two, maybe three times before you even get on the ship. So if you want to save on gratuities, prepay them. If you're going on a ship in a month or two, you're probably okay. But I mean, I encourage everybody to go ahead and just get those gratuities out of the way so that you don't have to worry about the gratuities going up. That's a great point. Thank you, Kristen, for bringing that up. Hot mess. You love cruises. Love it. See, Gold Peak. You're taking your first cruise, NCL Joy, at the end of August. Oh, man, that should be really exciting. So, go with the flow. Just know that not every port is guaranteed. You might skip a port just because of weather or something like that. You'll get an extra sea day or something like that. Make sure you understand what is and is not included in your cruise fares, that there's no surprises. That's the worst, is when you get on the ship and you're expecting that something's going to be included and it's not, and you're like, oh man, I didn't know I had to pay for this. I got to pay for that. The shows are fabulous on NCL. We love the shows on NCL. I love the specialty dining on NCL. Specialty dining are the restaurant that you have to pay for. The main dining room is okay. The buffet is not bad. It's not my favorite buffet, but I mean, you're not going to go hungry in the MDR or the buffet. No way. But if you want to pay a little extra for dinner, their dinners are quite good. I don't know if Food Republic is on Norwegian. I love Food Republic. That's like one of my favorite restaurants, period, at sea. It's on the Norwegian ship, Food Republic. It might have the noodle bowl place. If it has the noodle place, it's really, really good. But Norwegian is a great first cruise line. It really is. You're going to have a great time. Jill, you've never cruised and interested in trying a Caribbean cruise for 4 nights. Thoughts on where to begin? Call me. I had to say that. But seriously, if you work with a travel advisor, whether it's me or somebody else, we can help you pick the right first ship. That is the most important thing, because there are so many ships to choose from. And depending on when you're going to go in the Caribbean, there could be like 40 ships down here for you to choose from. And it's not about the cruise line at all. It's really about the ship and what you want to get out of it. So you want to get married up with the right first ship. Do you want to have a lot of kids on the ship, or do you want to have adults? That's going to, your family cruise line, Disney, Royal Caribbean, Carnival, MSC. And then your more adult, obviously all adult Virgin Voyages, Princess, Holland America, they're going to be a little bit more adult. But even with Royal Caribbean, if you go on the small ships, it's predominantly going to be adults. There's not going to be a whole lot of kids on that ship. Or if you go when the kids are in school, you're not going to have near as many kids on there.
And if you go on a longer cruise, a true longer cruise, not a back-to-back.
But she wants 4 nights.
Oh, well, yeah.
So for 4 nights, just reach out. I mean, seriously, I would connect with a travel advisor, just because the cruise lines do not make it easy to compare. It's purposely done that way. You can't really compare apples to apples unless you really know what you're looking at. This package is included. How much is this? How much is that? And really understanding all the fees that go involved with a cruise, and knowing that when you look at the cruise line website, the port fees and taxes are not added in there right off the bat until you take it all the way to the cart. Whereas when we present you the prices, we're going to give you that full price right up front so that you really know what you're getting. And then there's differences in the categories. One ship what is it? The Icon, I think, has 27 or 28 categories of cabins. So you can have 10 categories of balconies. What's the difference between all of the balconies besides the price going up as you go up in the categories? We can help you with that. So definitely, whether it's me or somebody else, work with a travel advisor. We're free. We're absolutely, well, at least I am. Some travel advisors are starting to charge a research fee. They're starting to charge an administrative fee, things like that. I don't charge anything. I get paid a commission by the travel providers after the fact. So whether it's me or somebody else, reach out to a travel advisor so we can get you on the right ship. That is so important for your first cruise, getting on the right ship. Sunny Girl, hey, I like your handle. That's fun. How much in advance to go to Alaska? Well, if Alaska is a limited season, and depending on which cruise line you want to go on, like as soon as you know you want to go, book it. Like August 3rd, I've been talking about it. Princess, Alaska is going on sale. That is the day.
2025.
For 2025. That is the day you're going to get the best prices and the best inventory. After that, we start selling, because we have a limited number of ships and we have a limited number of itineraries. I mean, we have 18 itineraries, 27 cruise tours. It sounds like a lot. but it's really not compared to like the Caribbean. And we can always get you on a ship in the Caribbean. I can't always get you on a ship in Alaska. And that really is true for anything. Like Royal Caribbean is so hard to book. Like even, 6 months out, all the suites are gone. A lot of the top end stuff is gone. It basically, with any cruise, the more advanced you can book it, the better, the more inventory you're going to get. It's not like you can't get on the ship, but you may not get the cabin you want. So that's the biggest thing.
And if you need an accessible cabin, or say you're a family and you need 2 cabins next to each other, definitely book as far out as you can, because you'll have better opportunities to get those.
Yeah, especially if you want connecting or adjoining. It gets harder and harder to get connecting or adjoining as we get closer to the cruise. So yeah. Hey Andres, how are you? That's right, you were on the Freedom when it caught fire. Boy, what a memory that was. If you all don't remember, the Carnival Freedom's funnel caught on fire. The crew did an amazing job putting it out, and of course the Mardi Gras was sitting right next to it. What a day that was. Wow. Good to see you again. Thanks so much for coming back. See, I think it's typically so agents. You think it's typically so agencies can ensure you don't overstay and they have current info? Well, but if you're talking about the passport, it has to be good for at least 6 months. I mean, if your passport's good for 5 years afterward, then you can go. Now, if you're talking about ETIAS, yes, that is exactly the point. They want to have control. It's almost like a visa control process where you can stay in the country for 90 days to 120 days, and that's it. And then you've got to re-up. So, Mike Perrin, do we work with a lot of Canadians? We do. Actually, I've got quite a few Canadians. I've got one Canadian who scares the ever-living crap out of me every single time because she insists on flying from Toronto to Miami on the day of the cruise. Oh, she gives me a heart attack every time. I'm like watching her flight. I'm like, please get there, please get there, please get there. She won't come in a day early. And I love her. She's so great. And this time she's going with her family in August. They're going on the Carnival Celebration, and I'm going to be a nervous wreck the entire day. But yes, we do work with Canadians. We're happy to help you guys out. So feel free to reach out.
We can do everything but book independent travel insurance.
Yeah, I can't book you independent travel insurance. I can book you to travel insurance through the cruise line, which is usually not that great. But insuremytrip.ca is a great place to get independent travel insurance for Canadians. But yeah, if you want to work together, love to. Reach out. Billy Bo Jim Bomb, love it. What are good summer destinations for 2 weeks other than Alaska? Wow. So you got the ABC, you got Southern Caribbean, the ABCs and things like that. You could go to Hawaii. You could, if you want to do the Mediterranean, obviously the Mediterranean is absolutely amazing, that time of year. You can do Europe. You can do like like England up into like Ireland, Scotland, things like that. You can do some of that. And then, of course, Australia, Pan-Asia. There's a lot of places you can go. It just depends on what you want to do. It's always down to 2 things, right? Time and money. How much time do you have and how much money do you want to spend? We can get you to a lot of different places. And keep in mind, we don't just sell cruises. We are a full service travel agent. So if you want to do a land tour, we can fly you somewhere and have a whole tour put together and off you go. So yeah. Becky, how are you? Thanks for joining us. What cruise line do you suggest for a couple in their 50s with no kids?
Hey, we're a couple in our 50s with no kids.
We are. And we have sailed 9 different cruise lines so far and have loved them all. It really comes down to what kind of vibe do you want on the ship. So Celebrity, Virgin Voyages, I think are very similar. They both have that kind of casual luxe vibe. And of course, Virgin Voyages is all adult. It's almost all inclusive, so it's a fan. I love the fact that there's no nickel and diming once you get on that ship. I mean, all of your meals are paid for, your Wi-Fi is paid for, your gratuities are paid for, just soft drinks are paid for. You don't even have to get a stupid soft drink package just to get soda. So I love that. Celebrity has amazing ship. They have amazing pools. If you're a person that really likes pools, that will be the knock on Virgin. They have a lounge pool. That's how they're set up. They don't have like swimming pools. And then, believe it or not, Disney. And I know you're going to say that's weird, but if you're a fan of Disney, they're great ships for adults. And then Princess Holland America, they're great as well. But it all depends on the ships too. Royal Caribbean, if you go on the smaller ships, you're not going to have as many kids. Now, us, we don't really care about the kids. Like we've been on the Oasis class, we've been on the Mardi Gras, we've been on Princess.
I wouldn't say we don't care, but
yeah, I mean,
it's not the primary driver.
Yeah, it's not the primary driver. We're going to have fun on any ship. So really, it's for us, it's about, well, what do we want to do on this vacation? Do I want to have the bumper cars and the iFly and the Flow Rider and ice skate? Like I went ice skating the last time on the Symphony of the Seas. That was a hoot in the middle of the Caribbean. I'm ice skating on a ship. That was fun. And then sometimes we just want to lay out. Like if we're on a Virgin ship, you're going to find Rebecca on the hammock. You know, she's in that hammock out on the balcony quite a bit. She even slept out there a couple of times. So it just depends on what you're getting out. But a traditional adult-centric, Celebrity, Holland America, Virgin Voyages, Princess. Those are like the four. And then, if you want to step up, Oceania, Azamara, Viking, Seabourn, things like that, Regent Seven Seas. But Oceania is a really good, that's between, Oceania is the one that's between Celebrity and then the ultra luxury cruise line. So Oceania and Azamara, they're kind of like right there. And then you step up to Viking Regent. So Oceania might be a good thing to look at as well. If you want some help, we'd be happy to help you out. We'd be real happy to help you out. AD's going on an Alaskan cruise September 16th. Rock on. David is asking, are we booked on the Icon? We have been invited to a preview sailing. So we should be sailing in January. We should be sailing in January. I believe January 27th is the maiden voyage. So probably that week before, they'll be having like a press trip, a preview trip. It'll be 2 nights more than likely. Like we sail out, we stay overnight, we come back. That's all it's going to be. We may or may not go to Coco Cay. But yes, we have been invited to a preview sailing. We just don't know when yet. Stace wants to take her daughter on the first cruise next summer for high school graduation. Any suggestions on the cruise line? Well, first of all, congratulations. That's exciting.
Depends on your daughter.
Huh?
It depends on your daughter.
Yeah, it depends on what your daughter wants to do. But certainly, like my first thoughts are obviously Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, Carnival. Those 3 are going to have a lot of teenagers on there, a lot of young adults on there. And if your daughter likes to do a lot of things, water slides, ice skating, flow riders, maybe skydiving. Yes, Royal Caribbean Quantum Class has the iFly skydiving simulator on it. So if they really want to be active and they want to hang out with a lot of people their age, that's where I'm going to lean into. Now, if she's 18 years old, that means you can go on Virgin Voyages. And Virgin Voyages,
although you do have to feel okay with the fact that she will be able to drink once you get out of U.S. waters.
That is true. Virgin Voyages allows 18.
If you're fine with that.
Yeah, to drink once you hit international waters. But it does open up Virgin Voyages because they will be 18. Now Disney could be a lot of fun too. I mean, if you're Disney fans, the Fantasy and the Dream are actually priced comparably to some of the Royal Caribbean ships. So if you're a fan of Disney, those are great ships to go on as well. So if you want some help, we have booked quite a few people doing graduation and spring break. So if you want some help, where'swaltertravel.com, click on contact us, or there's a link. If you just click my logo on TikTok, or those of you over on YouTube, there are links down in the description. Just click there and set up a time on our online calendar. That's the best way, really. Let's just set up a time and chat. We would just love to help you out. Ben Riley, I think a lot of people will really sail on the nude cruise on the Carnival Pride next year. Who knows?
There have been other nude cruises before.
Yeah.
And people have sailed them.
They've been going for a long time. And I read somewhere that they're actually switching cruise lines. I thought that was like a big deal because it's been on Carnival for, 20 years or so. And now they're going to switch cruise lines. I'm not going on it.
I do know that is one of the charters where they have to charter the whole ship. They got to charter. You can't have regular.
Could you just imagine, like, if they chartered half the ship and then you book on there? Because just so you know, there are ships that do that. They'll charter like half of it or a quarter of it, and you come on the cruise and you don't realize that, like, half the ship is this other thing. Could you imagine if like half the ship was nudist and then you just showed up and you're like, are we on a nude cruise? What's going on? That would be hilarious.
But yeah, that one they're definitely required.
Yeah, that would be fun.
To book the whole ship.
That would be funny. Sheila, do I prefer to use a credit card or cash on Carnival sale and sign? I have heard good and bad for credit cards.
We always use a credit card. The only problem for some people with a credit card is they will have a hold on your credit card for a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
And like if you have just a very small limit to your card or you have a very small available balance, that can be a problem. But I don't want to deal with having to go back to guest services every time I need to top up. So for me, I'd rather just use the credit card.
Yeah, we pretty much use them on every single cruise.
And they'll release the hold on the amount you do, like it. I can't remember what it is. It probably varies per cruise line, but let's just say it's a $300 hold. If you don't spend $300, it will, after the cruise ends, it will get released within a couple of days.
There you go.
So.
And for those of you who are new to the channel, that is my wife, Rebecca, sitting right off camera. She does not like to be on camera. She's the brains behind the operation. I get to sit here on camera and talk to you guys like this. Ooh, that was good. Wow, I like that. That's fun. Any ships out there you think are in need of dry dock refurbished? I mean, any ship that's been out there for 10 years. The MSC Seaside definitely can use some love. It could use some TLC, but I can't think of like offhand. User 930, so don't pay for a cruise in full when you book it.
I think they're referring
you're talking about the
price reductions.
Price reductions, yeah. So that is a really good strategy. Leave like 50 or $100. You know, like if you just want to go ahead and pay for it now.
Couldn't you still get a price reduction even if?
I don't know. Once you paid in full, because it's a refund at that point.
Oh, okay.
Now, the one that you do want to pay in full right up front is Virgin Voyages. They're not going to go down, A. B, if you're 180 days or more out from your cruise, you will get a 10% discount. That's across the board. Anybody, any cabin. When you look at some of those suites, you know, say it's a $10,000 suite, you're going to get $1,000 off, 10% off. But if it's a regular cruise, one strategy, just leave like $50 or $100 off. So you are not paid in full. And, you know, or maybe $500, leave it like $500 or $200 short. And then when we get to final payment, then just go ahead and finish it. We have not left our heart in San Francisco. Oh, no, we have not left out of San Francisco. Thanks for the question, Alyssa. No, we haven't. There's like a couple of itineraries that do Alaska from San Francisco. It looks beautiful. I haven't sailed out of New York yet either. I'm from New York. I haven't sailed out of New York yet either. I've got to fix that. I really want to sail out of New York one of these days. And Nunez, I'm sorry if I'm crushing that. You're taking the Sunrise cruise on Labor Day. Fantastic. You bought into the Wi-Fi. Is it worth it? You know, here's the thing about Wi-Fi on a cruise ship. So everybody's getting the Starlink, including Carnival. I don't know if the Sunrise has it yet, but we were on the Mardi Gras, and the Mardi Gras did not have Starlink. I had really good Wi-Fi, except when we were down by the Dominican Republic. So all of the internet on a cruise ship is satellite based. If it's really cloudy, that affects the signal. If the ship is in a certain position to the angle of the satellite, that affects the signal. So on a cruise ship, the signal is not going to be as consistent as what you're used to at home. But yeah, the Wi-Fi is absolutely, if you want to stay connected, absolutely. I get it every single time, and I'll get the upgraded package. If there's 2 packages, I'll get the upgraded package, the streaming package, because I'm going to stream from the ship. So I definitely want to get that. I really didn't miss your sister's buying the drink package. Is there a time limit to get another drink?
It depends on the cruise line.
Well, I think Carnival is 15 minutes.
I believe so.
I believe it's 15 minutes, and then they have a 15 drink limit over, I think it's
24 hours, 6 a.m. to 6 a.m.
Yeah, 6 a.m. to 6 a.m. It'll be 15 drink limit, and I believe
that's just
Carnival,
alcoholic drinks, not sodas or coffees.
So, and I believe it's 15 minutes between drinks. Yeah.
But if you want to know for sure, you can go to the FAQs on Carnival's website, and they'll have the FAQs for the drink package.
Carmi, there's going to be a family cruise, 4 cabins, 11 of you. Oh yeah, absolutely. Reach out. Let us help you, because there's a lot that goes into that. Like depending on whether you want the adults in a cabin, the kids in another cabin, how to configure them. Some cruise lines let us do certain things. Other cruise lines don't let us do certain things. So yeah, reach out. Like I said, either to me or to another travel agent. If you got 4 cabins with 11 people going on your first cruise, work with a travel advisor. That is my best piece of advice. I'd love to help you, but if it's not me, please work with a travel advisor. You're going to get a much better cruise experience because, like for instance, we're going to send you an 11-page first-time cruiser document that Rebecca and I came up with that answers a ton of questions, but then we're there. We're going to set up you want to talk about things, we're going to set up a time to chat, and you're going to go through all of your questions, and we're going to do our best to answer all of them. So yeah, please do, so that you get booked correctly. So Cheryl, you've cruised NCL 2 times now. Both times I found the daily housekeeping charges were not included. So yeah, they're not included. The gratuities are not included on any cruise unless you prepay them.
Well, there are a few high-end cruise lines where they're included.
Yeah.
And Virgin. But
yeah, Virgin is included. And right now we're offering free gratuities if you book through us until Wednesday, I think it is, for Norwegian. Yeah.
But most mainstream cruise lines, you will have an extra daily fee added on.
Gary's got an excellent question. What happens if I set up a third-party excursion, but that port had to be skipped? Well, number one, you got to look at the cancellation policy of that tour operator. That's the first thing you should be looking at when you're looking at third-party tour operators. So with Shore Excursions Group, which is our independent travel partner, they have a refund policy built right into that. So if the tour gets canceled or if the port gets canceled, you notify them, you will get a refund. That's what you're looking for. You want to find out what happens if it gets canceled. Make sure you have all of the information for that tour operator, because it is your responsibility to let them know. You can't just assume that, oh, they know the ship's not coming in. They may not know until like later that day when they find out. But the moment you find out that port is being skipped, you should be sending an email to that operator or sending a text or somehow communicating with that operator to let them know our ship is not coming in. And if they are a good tour operator, you're going to get a refund because you didn't show up. So, but not all of them will. Some of them might keep a deposit and give you the rest of it back, and some of them might not give you anything at all. So make sure, if it's somebody that's not going to give you any money at all, I wouldn't book with them. Yeah. Period. It's not worth booking with them because there is a chance that you're not going to get to that port. So, wow, it's 12 o'clock. I need to get through some more questions. Is it cheaper to buy the drink plan? That is the math. Like I tell everybody, you got to do the math to see if whatever you're going to pay every single day is how many drinks you're going to get on the ship. And if you simply Google cruise line bar map, you can get the bar menus, or Google cruise line bar menu, and then you can see what all the drinks cost. How much extra tip should you leave the person who cleans your room at the end of the cruise? 100% up to you. You don't have to leave anything at all.
Beyond the
beyond what's already in there. So I've heard $20. I've heard as high as $100. It's 100% up to you. You're not obligated, and it depends on, do you think they gave you good service? Because there are some that like they just disappear. You don't even see them, and it's like, I never saw them. Yeah, they took care of the room, but the ones who actually take the time to say hello, get to know you, saying hello every day, those are the ones that are going to get more from us. So thank you, P. Marie. I love it. Let's see, for Canada for Alaska, heading north from Canada, what side of the ship for the best view? Well, keep in mind, if it's only a northbound, then the starboard side is going to have the land on it the most. But there's also islands and stuff that are going to come up on the left. But if it's only a northbound, the starboard side will have more land. If it's a southbound, the port side will have more land. You only have Alaska to finish all of your USA. What about single guest? Best deals is we are punished. You're not punished. You're paying for the extra seat in the lifeboat. That's why you're paying it. You're not paying for the second bed. You're paying for the second seat in the lifeboat. Norwegian has studio cabins. So you're going to be inside. You're going to be in an interior, so you're not going to get a balcony. But Norwegian has interiors. Or you just go ahead and pay for that balcony. I have a solo traveler who goes on Holland America all the time. She just pays for it. We look for good deals for her. So you're getting on the breeze on Monday. On wonderful. If you're looking to book a cruise in 2025 in September, you're looking to do the Bahamas or the Caribbean, there's not a whole lot out there. I know the World America is out there for the MSC right now. I don't know what else is available in the Caribbean in 2025. So I can't help you off the top of my head, but I can tell you the MSC World America is already booking 2025 in the Caribbean. Do we recommend Holland America Club Orange? Look at what it offers. It's like $15 or $16 a day. Look at what it offers. There are some good things in it. It may not apply to everybody, but that's what we did with one of my clients. She ended up getting it because I can't remember. There was like 2 things in there. She's like, yeah, that's going to make it worth it.
And plus it was because she was traveling solo, she only had to pay for one person.
That's true.
Whereas if you're traveling 2 people, you have to pay for Club Orange for both people in the cabin.
Kathy MC, do we book river cruises? Yes, we do. And in fact, I have a meeting with somebody tomorrow. We're talking about Christmas marketplace cruises. Oh my God. So yeah, we work with all the major river cruises, Viking, AMA, Avalon, Emerald, Scenic, Talk, Uniworld. Am I leaving somebody off there? I don't know. Most of them, but no, we work with all of them. They're fabulous, absolutely fabulous. Sunny Girl got married on a Carnival cruise. How did I miss that earlier? Yay! Wonderful.
Saying it's 5 minutes between drinks for Carnival.
5 minutes between drinks. There you go. So just start your stopwatch, and when you're done with your drink, go get another one.
Please pace yourself more than that. That's fine. Yeah. It should take you more than 5 minutes to finish a drink.
Yeah. Thank you, Stacy. Safe travels home. John G. Oh, you like the Steamboat Willie? Isn't he fun? I know. He's great. I found him at, what's it called? World of Disney in Disney Springs. Greece to Italy on Viking. Yes. Oh, my God. Are you going on Greece to Italy on Viking? Or if you're asking me if that's good. If you're asking me, yes. That's amazing. I hope you're going. Disney Matt. You're going on the Navigator on September 4th. Just got the Royal Up email. Web page says all balconies are sold out. Is it worth it? So here's the deal. Yes, the balconies probably are sold out. So there's 2 things that the cruise lines may or may not do. One, they may have held back some balconies from sale. And, they kept, like, let's just say they kept 10 balconies and they kept them out of inventory specifically for the Royal Up program. Number 2, they're hoping that some people in balconies are going to upgrade to the suites, which would then open up the balcony. So what they're essentially doing, the bidding process is a wait list, okay? When you start the bidding process, there's no guarantee that any of those cabins are even available today. But if you bid, you're now on the wait list. And if a balcony comes up and you bid on it and you're the high bid, you get the balcony. If there's no bid, you just keep the cabin you have. So the downside to bidding is if you're in a good location, like you like where your cabin is, you have no control. So once they accept your bid, your credit card will be charged and you will be moved, gone, you're out. And you cannot contest. You cannot say, oh, I really didn't want the balcony to be there. No, that's it. We put you there. That's part of the bidding process. So that's the downside. Understand that when you bid, you could end up, under the pool. You could end up next to the theater. So you could end up in a worse spot. So yes, it can be. Oh, Viking was your first cruise this summer. Now you're spoiled. Oh, that's what. Oh, so you did Greece, Italy. Yes, love it. That's the downside to doing Virgin Voyages or a Celebrity in the mainstreams, or doing Viking, Oceania. That's a Regent. If that's your first cruise, you're like, I can't go on anything but this now. Viking is amazing, aren't they? Oh, I'm glad you had a great time. So you just got off the Mariner. Why no USB ports in the room? Grand Princess had a bunch. Grand Princess probably went in. She's either newer or she went in for a refurb. I don't know. Royal Caribbean just hasn't put them in there.
Yeah, a lot of cruise lines now are adding the lamps on the nightstands that have the ports in them. When they're the older ships.
Mariner, wait a minute. Now, Mariner just came out of dry dock. I'm surprised she didn't have them. She went in for a month. So I don't know. Billy, any ship have been particularly disappointing and never cruise on again? Well, I've never cruised on it, but I never will. The Margaritaville at Sea. Not going on that. For me, no, though. Do I ever see any good deals on Oceania cruises? Or Oceania. I keep saying Oceania. Yeah, actually, they run into 50% off right now. Either them or Regent is running 50% off right now on the fares. So, and then they have the from certain cities in the United States free round trip air. So it's really good. So yeah, it's really good. Best cruise line for single cruisers, newly divorced and still want to travel. I mean, so specific single cabin, Virgin Voyages, Norwegian Cruise Line, Celebrity has infinite balcony. Royal Caribbean actually has a ton of single cabins. There are not very many on a particular ship, but I think they have like over 200 solo cabins out there, depending on the ship you want to go on. So, those would all be good ones. Celebrity, Norwegian, depending on what you want to get out of. Certainly Virgin Voyages is all adult. They have some amazing itineraries coming up out of San Juan. I think the Virgin Voyages, if you want to sail from the U.S., the best itineraries are when the Valiant Lady is here. They've got 6 and 8 nighters out of Miami. Or if you want to fly down to San Juan, they've got great ones there. And then, of course, Celebrity Cruises, I think, would be a great one for you to lean into. Norwegian, it could be good. It's more of a family line. But I would think Celebrity would also be another good one. If you want to reach out, we'd be more than happy. We book a whole bunch of solos. So, MSIO Bihan, I'm sorry. You want to take a family cruise in December, first time, 2 adults, 3 kids, 18 plus. Which cruise line is best? I don't know which one is best, but the ones that I would consider would be Royal Caribbean, Disney, Norwegian, maybe MSC, and Carnival. Those are the 5. Now it just comes down to what ship is the best. It's not about the cruise line, it's the ship. You got to make sure you got a ship that's going to entertain everybody. So if you want to reach out to me, reach out to a travel advisor. That's what we do. We get you on the best ship. But those are the 5 cruise lines that I would lean into.
The kids are 18 plus, throw in Virgin.
Yeah, I mean, Virgin Voyages is 18 and over, but like Rebecca said, Virgin Voyages allows 18-year-olds to drink once they hit the international waters. So if you're okay with that, you can certainly bring in Virgin Voyages as well. But it just depends on what everybody wants to do. That's the biggest thing. When people are like, well, I want to go on a family cruise. Well, what do you want to do, Mom and Dad? What did the adults want to do? I want to make sure that the adults have things to do as well as the kids. Because if the kids are just getting the best part of the cruise, that's no fun, right? You want everybody to have a good time. So it's about the ship. It's not about the cruise line. It's about that ship. Get on the best ship. And it also, one other thing, where are you going to sail out of and when are you going to sail out of there? Because there's only a certain amount of ships that are going to be there. So you can say, well, I want to sail out of Miami and I want to sail out in October. Well, there's only going to be a certain amount of ships there at that time. So what Rebecca and I are going to do, we're going to look at, well, which ships are there? Okay, these 3 cruises would work well for you. And then we're going to present those cruises to you. So it's more about the ship. Make sure everybody on the ship has something good to do. So do we prepay gratuity or pay at the end of the trip? Typically, we prepay.
We've done both.
Yeah.
We do. I mean, we always leave the automatic gratuities in place. I've never, ever removed them.
Yeah.
But sometimes we pay it when we're on the ship and sometimes we pay before. It just kind of depends on how the finances are at the moment.
Andres is going on the Sunshine in 2 weeks. Janet Smith Denman, hello. How are you? You're welcome on the Royal Upgrade. What is the cheapest cruise now? I don't know. Probably MSC or Carnival. Those would be my 2 guesses. Although it just depends. I don't know. I don't have that knowledge just sitting right here. I'd have to go look to see what's out there. But MSC certainly. How much is a solo? Depends on what ship, what itinerary, when you're going. You were married on the Valor, MSC Seascape. Good ship. That is the newest of the Seasides.
And you have your YouTube.
Yeah, so MSC, if you want to know all about the Seascape, come on over to YouTube on Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. It's on YouTube only. We're going to have Michael, my representative from MSC, will be on there for the whole hour. Anything you want to know about the Seaside, Thursday night, 8:30 p.m. Every Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. on YouTube, I do another live. We're kind of doing it more like a podcast, more like a interview style. So certainly come on over there. The Seascape is the newest of the Sea ship. She has an extra deck. Her and the Seashore have an extra deck, and then she's a little bit larger all the way around. So the Seashore and the Seascape are the newest. We went on the Seaside, which was the original. So so a reminder: 8:30s on Thursday evening Eastern time. That is Eastern time. 1 hour. We're live on YouTube. And this week we will have Michael from MSC talking about all things MSC. If you missed last week's show, we had Tamika from Virgin Voyages for an hour. She dropped a lot of great knowledge. We do have the Virgin Voyages special where we will throw in some extra sailor loot. If you book with us, you got to book by July 31st. Terms and conditions apply. Reach out. I'll tell you everything. And then on Norwegian Cruise Line, I've got free prepaid gratuities for cruises of 7+ days. You got to do that by Wednesday, though. So you don't have much time for that. So if you're looking at Norwegian Cruise Lines for 2024 later on this year, I can save you. I can knock off those gratuities for you. So that would be
balcony
amazing.
And above, right?
It's a balcony and above. It's certain categories and above. So certainly out to me for either one of those.
Not the Prima or Viva.
Not the Prima or the Viva. So best deal is it on the actual cruise ship. Virgin Voyages, 1,000%. You absolutely should get the My Next Virgin Voyage. They have the best one in the market right now. Here's my little ship. So Virgin Voyages, you pay $300 on the ship. You get $300 off your next cruise. You don't have to book a cruise on the ship. You're going to get a placeholder, and you get $600 on board credit. You got 2 years to sail. You got 2 years to pick your cruise and sail. $300. You can get up to 10 of those on any Virgin Voyage cruise. Now, just keep in mind, you got 2 years to sail, so don't get 10. But you can transfer it to somebody else. So, $300, maybe you got a family member, you want to give them a cruise. You go, hey, here's $300. Go get yourself on a cruise. It's $300 off, and I've already spotted you $600 in onboard credit. And you can combine that with most of their public offers. So right now, you would get $600 onboard credit, $600 bar tab on a 7-night cruise, plus another $100 of onboard credit from me. You'd have $1,300 to spend. And I have a whole bunch of clients who have $1,300 to spend on their Virgin Voyage cruise. So if you're on Virgin Voyages, absolutely get it there. With everybody else, you just kind of take a look. A lot of them are now selling the coupons. They're not necessarily selling the next cruise. They're selling the coupon. So the best deal is not necessarily on the ship, but you should always go to the future cruise desk to see what they're offering. A lot of times, it might be no deposit. It might be like a $10 deposit, $100 deposit. That's where they really get you, where it's like, hey, you don't have to really put much of a deposit down. Okay, go for it. So
just the
always
thing to
go
be
there.
careful of is to make sure you look at when these expire. If you buy,
like I just said, you've got 2 years to sail, not 2 years to book with Virgin Voyages. So time for fun. You just sent me another email, Josie. Okay, great. Thank you. I'll take a look at those. You bought that last weekend on Scarlet Lady, right? Right? I mean, and you can transfer them. Oh, here's the other really cool thing about Virgin Voyages. You can change both people in the cabin. Or like everybody in the cabin can be changed out. Most cruise lines, in fact, I think every other cruise line, you got to keep one original person in the cabin. But Virgin Voyages, you can change everybody out. So it's really crazy. Will VB ever home port in Port Canaveral? Probably not. They built that beautiful terminal in Miami, so I would be shocked if they ever came up here. Do expect the Brilliant Lady. The Brilliant Lady was modified, so do expect that she's going to go through the Panama Canal. So do expect Virgin Voyages to show up in LA. We don't know when. The new itineraries are coming out in August. At least that's what Tamika was told. I've seen posts online that that they're coming out. But Tamika told us during the show the other day, we are expecting August to see those new itineraries after April 2024. I fully expect, if not in 2024, in 2025, we will see the Brilliant Lady on the West Coast, and that's going to be really cool. But I doubt they'll come to Port Canaveral because they built that big, beautiful terminal. They only have 4 ships, so why would you build another terminal in Florida? So, yeah. Do most people give an additional tip to the servers? Oh, yeah, definitely. What is an average tip? That's whatever you think is right. I said earlier, I've heard for like the server, like your restaurant servers and all that, I've heard 10 to 100 plus. It's whatever you feel. For your room steward, I've heard 10 to 100. It's whatever you feel, because you're the one there. You're the one getting the service. I usually tip my favorite bartender. I always go out of my way. And I'm not that guy. There's some people who tip every single time, and they're like, oh, the bartender is going to come to me sooner. Not really. I give my tip at the end. I find my favorite bartender. I start talking to that bartender. That's what gets you better service. If you're friendly to the bartender, talk to them, take an interest in them. Especially if the bar is slow, I'll have a whole conversation with that person. And, that's how you get better service. Then on the last night of the cruise, I will go and hand them 20, 40, 60, whatever it is. So, Chris, Alaska, 28 days out and still waiting on your guaranteed veranda assignment. Normal. Sometimes it used to be pre-pandemic, you may not find out until you actually showed up at the terminal. So, yeah, that's normal. I suspect within 7 days of the cruise, you're going to find out what it is. So, it is normal.
Anytime between now and like a couple days before the cruise.
Yeah. And I see we still have almost 100 people on here, but I've been going almost 2 hours, and I do have calls that I have to take care of. And I got Ann to talk to about Portugal, and apparently Josie has been sending me some some emails as well. So, folks, I do have to wrap this up. We start at 10:30 in the morning Eastern time, so we've been at this for almost 2 hours. If anybody wants to drop a quick question in there, I'll try to answer. But Thursday night on YouTube, I will be live with Michael from MSC Cruises. Come on over to our YouTube channel, Where's Walter Travel. You've got until Wednesday to get your free prepaid gratuities with Norwegian Cruise Lines. Reach out to me for the details, 7+ days, not on the Viva or the Prima. There's a whole bunch of other restrictions that go with it as well, but reach out. And on Virgin Voyages, if you book with me through July 31st, you're going to get some extra sailor loot from Tamika, and you might get some from me as well if you get a balcony or above. That's the show, people. It's been a great day. Y'all have been amazing, absolutely amazing. Stay cool wherever you are. It is just crazy hot here in Orlando. If you're at the theme parks, please be careful. Stay hydrated. If you're on a cruise ship, stay hydrated.
Yeah.
So everybody, for those of you over on the YouTube channel, thank you so much. We'll see you guys on Thursday evening, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. You guys have a great day. And for those of you on TikTok, thank you so much. You all have been absolutely amazing. You are the reason why we became travel advisors in the first place. You asked us to become travel advisors in the first